black and gold home for the New Orleans Saints.
Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that?
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees on Roger Goodell. Yeah, fucking like this and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this and I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
What it is, man. And they're going to kneel on a victory formation. They're going to take the clock down, and that should walk the game into the Saints should get the victory. I mean, Detroit's going to win the game. So there it is. The Saints fall short 33-28. And listen, it's our hands. We got to do better. Both quarterbacks, they got to do better than this, man. There's a lot of opportunities we left on the field. The Detroit Lions shouldn't have won this game. They shouldn't have won this game. The intensity changed. Them people leaving out of here. Campbell is nervous as hell. All his face red like somebody who was in a slap contest, a face slapping contest. And the Detroit Lions are going to win the game. They're going to push the Saints into a 3-game slot, and that's what it is. We had opportunities, and we gave them up on incomplete, bad throws toward the back end of the game. It is what it is. It is what it is. So there it is. The Saints made it exciting down the line, and ultimately, it didn't work. It didn't work. So it is what it is. Saints, they're going to go down with a loss. It's unfortunate, man. But it is what it is. Saints 0-3 the last 3 contests, and it just stinks, man. It stinks to high hell, man. It stinks. All right, so anyway, let's go into they still showing like it's time on the clock. The game's over with, man. 33-28 on the play. It is what it is, man. We can't make apologies for these freaking guys, man, when they go out there, and most of these throws are not contested throws. They're not. You got to be serious about executing, and when it counts, we got to make the throws. We got to make the completions. That's our window of opportunity. You've got to do it. If you don't, then you're going to lose. You're going to fall short, and now the Saints, they're on a 3-game limit. We know they want to lose the game anyway. I mean, we called it, but they made it competitive, and they should have won the game. They had everything working for them, and in the end, what happens? We get in our own way. We fumbled the ball with dumb Carr at the end of the game to give it back to them, and they score a touchdown that should never happen off the Carr fumble. They ultimately fight back into the game to get another opportunity, and we can't make the completions to wide open wide receivers with guys not even covering them that well, except for the Kamara play, which could have been a completion. We could have kept marching. We'd have won the game. But the Saints get in their way all the time, man, and that's the frustrating part about this. We lose. We lose. All right, so anyway, 23-18 on the first downs for the Saints. 6 of 12, 50%, 6 of 13 by the Detroit Lions. 67 plays by the Saints versus 56 plays. Saints had more plays. 362 on total yards versus 347. 12 on the drives. 6.2 average per play versus 5.4. 249 yards versus 205 on the passing game by the Saints. 142 rushing yards that they gave up tonight. Almost 5 yards a rush by the Detroit Lions. The Saints had 113 off of 36 attempts for 3.1 per game. Red zone, Saints were perfect in the red zone today. 4 of 4 and 3 of 5 by Detroit. Perfect in the red zone. We still don't get the dub. You know why? Because of turnovers. Turnovers. You can't turn. Turnovers, bro. You perfect in it because you go for 0 for 5. You were 0 for 5 in the red zone last week. Now you're 4 for 4 in the red zone. Perfection, and you still lose the game. You know why? Because of turnovers. Turnovers is the problem. 6 penalties for 50 yards versus 6 penalties for 45 yards. Saints have 2 turnovers in the game. 32 minutes, 10 seconds versus 27 minutes and 50 seconds in the game. 0 turnovers by the Detroit Lions. Saints give up 2 turnovers in the matchup. You go over to the Saints side, 17-22 for Carr for 226, a touchdown and an interception off of Juwan Johnson's hands. Remember, they scored on that. 2 times he was sacked, 105.5 on the rating by Carr. Jameis 2 of 5 for 41 yards, 8.2 yards per throw, 69.6 is there. Taysom 0 for 2 throwing the ball. He did lead the team in rushing. 13 carries for 59 yards and a touchdown. Kamara, 14 carries for 51 yards and 2 scores. Jamal Williams, 5 carries for 10 yards, nothing shaking. Chris Olave was fantastic in this game when he did make the plays. 5 catches for 8 targets for 119. Elvin, 6 catches for 58 yards. A.T. Perry, 1 for 30. 2 for Foster Monroe. Taysom, 2 for 15. Jimmy had a touchdown. 1 time he caught the ball, 1 target, 6 yards, touchdown. Outside of that, ain't nothing really shaking. Shout out to Nephi, Sewell, and Paulson, the Debo. They led their team in tackles today. The Saints had 1 sack on the day. That was Zach Bond getting after him. Outside of that, nothing shaking. Blake Grupe didn't attempt a field goal at all today. So he kind of chilled on the grown thing. Hadley had 4 punts in the matchup. Jared Goff finished 16-25 for 213. 2 touchdowns, 8.5 average. 1 time he was sacked, 117.6 on the rating. Goff was too comfortable in there. The Saints didn't get to him enough. There was not enough. A turnover would have helped us. But the rushing attack help keep these people alive. Gibbs had 8 carries for 60 yards. He had 7.5 on the rush for Gibbs. Montgomery, 18 carries, 56 yards, and a score. Jameson Williams got 1 for 19 in the game. 142 off of 30 carries, 2 rushing touchdowns. The killer of the Saints was Sam Laporta. 9 catches, 140 yards. 9 catches off of 9 targets, family. He was perfect today. Every time Goff found Laporta, it was for a completion. 9 catches, 9 targets, 140 yards, 1 touchdown. The dude averaged over 15 yards every time he caught the ball. He killed the Saints today. The Saints had no answer for Sam Laporta. He was working the Saints. And then the tackles from Jack Campbell and Derek Barnes. And for Alex Anzalone, they had 9 tackles and they were able to get the car twice. Okwara and Bruce Irvin, who planted them in the ground, both of them got to him and made it work. So the Saints go down 33-28, and they made it a lot more competitive, but still in all, the Saints are now on a 3-game losing streak. They fought, but the turnovers is always the issue. You got to make sure the damn turnover, especially the Carr turnover in the game was ridiculous. The Carr turnover late in the game was ridiculous. He turns and the ball gets poked out of his hand by Hurst on the play. That was awful. That stunk, and they were able to take. And then another thing, just to make this known, is that both turnovers, both of them, that the Detroit Lions was able to get on the Saints, they converted both of them into touchdowns. The one that Carr threw that went off the hands of Juwan Johnson, that one was taken back for a touchdown. And the turnover that happened when Hurst got the ball poked out, they turned that into touchdown. So the turnovers, both turnovers was converted to touchdowns, and that hurt the Saints. 2 turnovers, 2 touchdowns, that's your game. That's your game. So unfortunately, we knew that the Saints would, even though I didn't think it would be this competitive, but they ultimately did what they needed to do to lose this game. And we had opportunities in this game. We had it. OG says, Q, I can't lie, I'm not a Jameis fanboy, but we need Jameis in the game over Carr. Bro, that's a given, bro. I agree. Jameis is a better quarterback in this system. But when we get him out there, he got to make the throws. He got to make, you can, because it's not, listen, it's not even a comparison to me if we got a car missing on people or Jameis missing on people. Either one of them, none of those are any good to us. Whoever's in there, they got to make the completion. They got to make the throws. You can't run away from that. They got to make the completions. And during that little stretch in that drive, man, they had an opportunity to really do something, and we squandered it. We squandered it. Squandered the ball. We squandered it. They squandered it, and now it is what it is. So thank you, bro, for that. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Far too kind.
I just think, man, in the end, that it's just desserts for us. You know what I mean? It's just desserts. Brent says elements have to work together. How about the play calls? Our run got us going when it was abandoned for pass. All we need was 6 yards. They always do that, bro. They did that the last time in the game when they went all pass. I mean, you giving Alvin Kamara the ball. Alvin was doing everything he can do, bro. Alvin was running like a man possessed. He was breaking through tackles. He's pushing guys out of his way. Alvin Kamara got to be frustrated. I'm frustrated. And I'm like, man, at least give us a chance. Put the ball on me so I can make a play. I don't care. Give us an opportunity to make a play. And did we have an opportunity to make a play when in the game where it mattered, where we could have probably won the game? We did. They gave us all opportunity. Detroit Lions gave us the opportunity to keep the ball moving, and we could not make completions when we needed them. Couldn't get a pitch and catch going on. Couldn't. 3 times, 3 failures. You out of there. They run the clock down, win the game. So I mean, it's just what it is, man. So thank you, bro. Appreciate the super chat.
I want to say thank you very much. Picking me up and bringing me back to this world.
It's just crazy, man. I just hate the way how the Saints do. It's just like in the mindset of the team is, and then Atlanta won. So Atlanta ended up beating the Jets. So now they go to 6-6 as the Saints fall to 5-7. They can't get out of their own way, family. It's always the same thing with this team, with this blasted, dreaded team. They never can get out of their own way. It's always the same bull crap over and over again. It's just sad, man. Like being down 21 and have to spend the whole game fighting yourself back into the game. You can't allow them to score. Then the offense turns the ball over late in the second half. They march on to get a touchdown right there. And had that fumble not happened by Carr, then the game would be different. The Saints would have won the game if that didn't happen. But it's like I said before, the Saints are fighting 3 people. They're fighting the team they're playing against, they're fighting the referees, and they're fighting themselves. It's always the same thing. They always get in their own ways. If people ask me, Q, what's the answer? Why did the Saints lose this game? They lost it because of the turnovers. The turnovers was the problem. They got 2 turnovers, and Detroit took the 2 turnovers the Saints gave them and put 2 touchdowns on the board, while the Saints got no turnovers. So it's the same thing over and over again with the team. Undisciplined play, foolishness when it don't matter. At the top of the 4th quarter is a fumble. It's just over and over again with the nonsense. And the messed up part about it is they drag you emotionally into the game like they're going to do something and then turn around and fail. That's the whole part that really makes me upset. Y'all tell me y'all don't feel the same thing. As passionate as y'all are, how it's the same thing. They draw you in like, man, we going to do something. We going to win this damn game. And then they lose it. Then they stand up before you and say, hey, man, we gave it a good effort, man. We did what we're supposed to do. We did this, and we just got to keep on fighting. While Atlanta just beat the Jets, they're now 6-6. You're 5-7. You're on a 3-game losing streak. You got the Carolina Panthers that's coming in here. Carolina Panthers play the Buccaneers in a few minutes. We don't know what's going on there, but the reality is, how many games do the Saints win in the next 5 games? How many games do they win? Because, my goodness, man, it's just so frustrating, man, with this damn team. I mean, seriously, man, it's so frustrating. It's just sad, man. Doozy says we came in expecting them to lose. Typical Saints. Every time we try to get out, they pull us back into. Yes, That's like that old thank you, dudes. Man, listen, Jared, no disrespect, bro. Listen, I got love for you, man, but listen, we gotta call it like it is in the great Saint think tank, bro. We can't be out here talking about Carr versus Jameis Winston. Them dudes on the same team. If Carr's not making the plays, Carr is garbage, okay? He's garbage. He's not good at what he does. And he can't really get a rhythm in there because the Saints pull him out in the red zone. They put Taysom Hill in there and everybody else they can find to try to move this ball. The reality is Carr is not good at what he's doing. The frustrating part is that the Dennis Allen and the rest of them stand up there and they protect him. So that we know that. But at the same time, when Jameis does get an opportunity to get in the game, it does us no good unless Jameis makes the completions. You might as well call him Carr if he's not going to get in there and make the plays. We don't need another quarterback that's throwing wide at their wide receivers and the wide receivers standing there wide open. And then they fully extend and still can't get the ball. They Superman in the damn thing. They Superman. They fully extending for the play and it's just not working. So it doesn't do us any good to be able to have that. Y'all stay with us, man. We're going to go to Dennis Allen in a minute, soon as we can, man. And it's just frustrating to me. And I'm frustrated. I know y'all frustrated, man. But listen, man, we got to call it like it is, man. I got to call it like it is anyway. It's some BS going on here. 3-game losing streak the Saints are currently in. We did expect them to lose. No surprise there. But when you got a chance, baby, you got a chance to win and you just sit down on it. You just sit down on it. That's the worst part. Josh says, Q, I'm so tired of being pulled in, thinking we going to pull out the impossible, then our trash QB and backup QB blow the game after chances upon chances to salvage the game. The Saints defense gave the Saints offense an opportunity to come back in the game. 2 of the times, and let's just, context for it. Context, right? Turnovers. 2 of the turnovers, we know, I just stated they were converted to touchdowns. That's facts. But both times the turnovers occurred, they put the Saints defense in a bad position, didn't they? Both turnovers, the Saints, they were inside the red zone, and the offense for the Detroit Lions were able to get it. He said, well, Q, they were supposed to stop that. When you put your team, and listen, you put your tired team back, your tired defense back out there, and then, it's just so pathetic. Both turnovers were in the red zone, and they were both converted easily by Detroit. It's different if they turn the ball over on their side of the field, and then the defense has some room to work with, but not when it's the opposite way around and stuff like that occurs. That's just awful. It's awful. It's trash, man. And now the Saints are slowly falling behind because Atlanta won their 6-6, Saints 5-7. They're going the opposite way. Now you get Carolina, but there's no indication or no way that you're going to beat Carolina. So here go Dennis Allen, man. Let me get Dennis Allen up here so y'all can hear what he's saying.
And look, I didn't mean to shut down your question, but, look, obviously with injuries, you certainly got to pay attention to that. But I'm not getting into the business of we're going to compare things from one year to the next. So
just phrase it that way because y'all had precedent of doing that, and Derek's had the same shoulder injury 3 times and concussion protocol twice now.
Yeah.
So it's asking if there's any considerations of maybe giving him a rest.
Got it.
Is there any mounting concern at all with it being concussion protocol again?
Yeah, look, I think anytime you have a concussion, it's concerning. So, that certainly, and there's concern with some of the injuries that he's suffered. So look, we'll just like we do all the time, we'll go in and evaluate where he's at physically, and see where he's at physically, and then we'll go from there.
How difficult do you think it was for this team to probably recognize some of the atmosphere? A lot of Lions fans were in the stands. There were a lot of booing early on.
No, how can you not? Yeah. I think it was noticeable. and that's our job to change it. So, I was proud of the way that our guys, fought back, got back into the game, gave ourselves a real opportunity, and at the end we just couldn't get it done.
And to what do you attribute the early hole? I mean, was that just poor execution, or was it?
Well, look, you have to give those guys some credit, right? I mean, they're a good team, getting the league in offense, and they took the ball right down the field on the first drive. We missed a tackle on the one run play, which explosive play, and scored a touchdown. And then backs against the wall, we turned the ball over. And they were able to get another touchdown, and so now all of a sudden you're starting the game down 14-0. So, we didn't start well. We battled back, we scratched and clawed and got ourselves back into this, and we're going to keep swinging and keep, chopping wood. And I told the team, look, we're eventually going to break through.
Yes. How much, or if at all, do you think Derek's performance, especially in the third quarter, was maybe motivated by the booing? Did you see any correlation?
I wouldn't be able to answer that question. I mean, obviously, we're all prideful, we're all competitive, and we want to perform. And so, I thought after, he kind of settled in a little bit, I thought there was a stretch there where he played, really, really well. And, it was unfortunate that he got injured.
Early this week, there was a lot of conversation about does the team have or not have identity. Did you see the identity you wanted to see from this team?
Yeah, look, I mean, our guys fought. All right, we weren't perfect. I didn't like the execution early on. I thought it got better as the game went on. I did see explosive plays down the field, which I thought we could, potentially create. So yeah, I mean, I saw some things that I liked, and yet there's a few mistakes that end up handful of plays that kind of end up costing you the game, and those are the plays that we have to eliminate. Well, look, I mean, he's a good player. They got a lot of good weapons. All right. So there were some times where, we made a conscious decision to take Amon-Ra St. Brown out of the game. And when you do that and you devote more resources to that, it opens up some areas. So, look, I mean, he's a good player. They're a good offense. They've moved the ball on a lot of teams. So, but that was probably the big reason why is we devoted a few resources in other areas.
When you don't win these one-score games, when you come close again, do you think that at any point erodes a team's confidence to believe that they can do it?
Yeah, I don't think there's anything eroding the confidence of this team right now. I mean, we're going to keep chopping wood, all right? And that's the only thing you can do in this league. We're going to leave the naysaying to everybody else outside the bill. We're just going to focus on what we have to do to try to improve in those areas so that hopefully we can eventually break through and win some of these one-score games that you're talking about, because we're obviously close, and we just got to keep chopping wood. Yeah, it looked like from the shot I saw, it looked like as Derek was coming out under center to toss the ball, and James Hurst is, pulling and reaching. It looked like he, hit the ball.
You use that expression, leave the naysaying to those outside the building. Is that something that the teams in general have to make sure does not get into the locker room? And this
Yeah.
help you believe that maybe?
Yeah, look, I mean, look, nothing positive comes out of being doom and gloom. Like obviously you got to make the corrections that need to be made. All right. And then you've got to try to accentuate the positives, and you got to try to minimize the negatives. That's what you have to be able to do. And look, we keep swinging, and eventually one of these turns our way and we make the play at the end of the game that gives us an opportunity to win the game. All right. And then you build some confidence from there. So that's where we're at as a football team.
I know it doesn't come down to one speech or one thing someone says. Is there anything you heard or saw or liked while you were down that spirit remains?
Well, look, I mean, I think our guys just got over on the sideline and realized that we got to keep fighting. You really got two choices when it's in that situation. Okay, you can take the easy way out and you can give up, wave the white flag, all right, with a loser's mentality, or you can keep fighting. And our guys chose to keep fighting, and look, we battled back. We gave ourselves a chance to win against a really good football team. We didn't get it done.
What was the message at halftime?
That exact message. That exact message. You know, keep swinging.
Coach, did they surprise you that they threw the ball late in the game in that situation?
Talking about the last play?
Yes, sir.
No. That's kind of been something that they've been, you know, ready to do in those situations. And yet you're in a situation where you can't let them run it, you know, and yet they can take the ball off the line of scrimmage and throw it. They made a play in that particular situation. Well, I think it was always part of the plan to utilize Taysom in some of these plays. And then I think as the flow of the game went on, you know, and you know, particularly early on, I thought there was some success with some things we were doing with Taysom, and so we probably utilized it a little bit more.
Was it actually a tough decision?
Thought we had an opportunity on the big play down the field with Taysom in at quarterback too.
Was it actually a tough decision late in the game with Jameis obviously coming in late in the game and having been running the ball?
No, look, I mean, our plan has always been, you know, if anything happened to Derek, Jameis is a quarterback, and we'll use Taysom in the same role that we've, you know, always utilized him.
And is it the same severity again, the concussion keeps him out as his shoulder bone?
Well, that's one thing that we're going to look at. So, all right, guys, thanks.
Taysom, I'm just curious, could you hear the crowd reaction when you would come into the game and when you would leave and Derek would come in and the booing and, you know, what's your reaction to that?
I mean, I don't pay attention to that stuff. You know, you get locked into the game and take care of your responsibilities, and you know that's really it.
Did you like the way the team responded to the early deficit?
Yeah, for sure. I think you know that shows signs of you know the character of your team. What are you going to do when you get down early and face some adversity? And guys battled and you know gave us opportunities to win that game.
To get close again and not get there, you know, how difficult is that to stomach each and every week?
I mean, yeah, it's frustrating. You know, I think you know the guys that have been around this league for a little while, you realize how competitive this league is, and you know, you look at games, and we had a couple turnovers, you know, that cost us points, and when you start making mistakes like that, when it's as competitive as it is, you know, that's hard to do. So, you know, it is frustrating. I think there's a lot of good things that you can take from, you know, a game like this. And we already talked about the character, the leadership of this team. And one thing I know about this team is, you know, there's no giving up in that locker room. Everyone's going to keep fighting.
Is this kind of a sense, though, that you're kind of running out of time, though? I mean, look at 5. You know.
I mean, look, I think, you know, as you look at sports world and life and everything else, I think you realize you control as you can control, you know? So as we look forward, our mindset goes to next week and what do we got to do to win next week? And that's all we can control, you know, and make sure that we put ourselves in a situation at the end of the season that, you know, we have an opportunity to get to the postseason.
Is this as much as that mindset has ever been tested that you can recall being here with 3 straight losses, the score on the scoreboard, the atmosphere in the dome, trying to stay confident?
I mean, yeah, it's been a tough year, you know, to lose, you know, some of these games that we've lost the way that we've lost them. But you know, as we've talked, I haven't seen anyone flinch on our team, you know, and watch the tape, the effort, competitiveness, none of that has changed. And it just, you know, it's a great representation of the resiliency of this team and the leadership of this team.
Okay, so do you think initially you were going in on that last third and 6?
No.
I think someone said it seemed like you were, and then you turned around and went back, so I don't know if they made the switch.
No. Okay, all good, guys.
Is that about as much as teams can get tested with the losses piling up, 21-0, the crowd the way it was in the dome? I mean, is that a really tough atmosphere to stay competitive in and stay confident in?
Well, I thought we dug ourselves in an obvious hole, early on. I thought we fought back. Obviously, towards the end of the game, we had 2 opportunities to, get off the field on 3rd and, 8+, which should be advantage defense. So, just left. Obviously, started the game, slow, and then towards the end, man, we just didn't come away with the play, which is, it's like it's deflating, to say the least.
But I just mean when it was 21-0. I mean, keeping spirits up. I mean, is that in real jeopardy in a team?
No, I don't think so. I think with the kind of guys we got on the sideline, obviously coaches who, have been in this league a long time. I think a lot of us has, kind of seen it all. So I wouldn't say we were discouraged. You just got to find a way to band together and pull together, which I thought we did, for a good part of it. And then, like I said, towards the end, just couldn't come away with the plays.
Hey, Tyler, kind of growing up in New Orleans, understanding how passionate this fan is, what would be your message?
Oh man, obviously, it's disappointing. Obviously, I think we all need to play better. I think growing up in this city, it's no secret that we're all invested. You know what I mean? And so obviously they have a right to apply pressure, so to speak. But at the end of the day, man, we want family, we want community, and it's going to take all of us, Well, he's going to be a good player. I told him after the game. Just crafty for a rookie, man. The kind of routes he run, his frame, his length. And then obviously, you and the quarterback on the same page, they're going to come away with some plays. I thought he probably had 2 of the more clutch plays, in this game. So it was a few third downs in there where we had everybody covered. And then, he's put the ball on his body, now it's first down. So he's got to do a better job in the back end of just challenging guys, understanding their route tree, what to expect. But, nevertheless, man, he's going to be a good player for a long time.
See the crowd jump on Derek the way they did with the booth. Like, does it reach a point where you kind of have to ask them to stop? Right? Like, you guys?
I mean, obviously, at a certain point in the game, right, like we're rallying, like we're getting back in it. We can hear our fans again. And like I alluded to, man, a couple minutes ago, when I think of Saints football, obviously you think of Drew Brees, right? All the great players that have wore these colors. But when I think of Saints, man, I always think of community. Like it has very little to do with the football team, in my sense. Obviously we have to play better, right? We got to give them something to cheer for. We got to give them something to be proud of. And so I think that responsibility, falls on us, as players.
How much it is community, and yet for one reason or another, you can't kind of get over the hump in a lot of these games?
It's been tough, man. This season hasn't gone nearly the way, we wanted it to go. Obviously, there's a sense of urgency, man. After a while, you run out of opportunities, right? And so, you just got to find a way to, stick together. I think we got a lot of good players, we got a lot of good coaches, but we got to find a way to always believe. And I think today was probably, a good example of that. Is we down early, 21-0. Obviously, the crowd is not into it, and yet we still believe in each other and put ourselves in a position to possibly, win the game. So I'm proud of that. I'm encouraged by that. And then I'm proud of the way our fans came back, towards the end of the game. Like, we needed that. And so I think that had a good impact on us defensively, because we were kind of able to put together, 3-4, drives where, we were on and off the field. So, man, we won team, we won family. And like I said, we got to give them something to, be proud of.
When you're in the middle of all that, if you're, Taysom said, he didn't hear the boos. If you're the type of player that does hear it, do the boos bother you more, or is it like hearing the Lions chants in your own stadium?
I'd probably say the Lions chants. Like I said, man, like, we're all invested in this game, from media to players, family, coaches, our associates, right? Man, everybody got a hand in this. And so, obviously, man, like I said, I keep saying, we just got to find a way to kind of tune that out and stick together much as we can. I think being a teammate of someone that is getting booed, you want to be encouraging to that person, right? You want to continue to lift that person up. And, Derek was able to make some plays for us today, in spite of, all that was going on.
What is the mental middle ground of we still have 5 games left, those are running out of time, and the hurdles keep seeming to get larger and larger?
Yeah, I mean, I think these really this next month, man, I think it's going to be a big test for us. It'll be a big challenge to see what kind of character that we have. So obviously, it's not over, by any sense, but there is a sense of urgency to, put together a good game, especially in front of our home crowd. So, like I mentioned, a couple minutes ago, I think that falls on us, as players to, be absolutely ready. And like I said, man, just get these people, give our coaches, our families, something to really be proud of, because I think a lot of people in New Orleans, they want to celebrate you, they want to be happy for you, and so but you got to give them something to look forward to.
Just something to ask, what did go wrong in the first quarter, you think, defensively?
The defense is easy. It's always about tackling. Obviously, leverage, fundamentals. I thought early on, man, like, we were just, I don't know what it was. I don't know what word to use, but, we weren't ready. And so, obviously poor tackling, miscommunication, all the things that haunt defenses showed up, in the first couple of drives. And, I think after that, we kind of settled down. We realized that, like, we could play with these dudes. Like, they're not doing anything that, we haven't prepared for. Yeah.
Why do you think that's been the case 3 or 4 times now? It's so uncharacteristic of the defense to have that happen.
I don't know, man. I can't necessarily put a finger on it. The only thing I can say is, like what's the common, the denominators is like, anytime we start slow this year defensively, it is always kind of came down to tackling, miscommunication, and it's giving those guys, opportunities to make it a two-score game, 3-score game. And so, we've had opportunities to get off the field all season long, especially early on in the game. We just haven't been able to get it done. Obviously, practice is important. I think you continue to, practice hard, and you continue to try to, sharpen the things that you need to sharpen. But I don't have an answer. I just, probably just say it's, what it's always is, when you play bad defense is, tackling and miscommunication. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Rob, James, do you have any type of message for Derek when the Bulls are going on early in the game?
Well, from my position, I'm always lifting Derek up. But from the city's position, like, I agree with Tyron. I believe that we got to give them something to cheer for. I know that can be difficult at times, but he was very resilient. He answered the bell. But to the fans, like, we function off your support. And I know that we got to come in and give y'all something to cheer for, but just know that you impact us because we're trying to lift you up. We're trying to put on a show for you. So your support, your cheer, inspiration that you give us this is why we do this. We do this for you. We wouldn't have a job if it wasn't for you all. So I just encourage all of y'all to get behind us. Like, that's what this city is about. This city is about resilience. This city is about, building and staying together. And despite our record, despite what's the situation that's going on, we got to stand together because only people that can fix this is us. And that's y'all included. That's the fans, that's the team, and that's it.
Derek go through what he has, just away with injuries and kind of just battling through. What do you kind of just from like how he's handled everything?
Yeah, my biggest thing is just continue to lift him up. Like when you are starting NFL quarterback, like a lot of things, but he's handling it the right way. He's going out there doing his job. He's out there going out there fighting for his team, and that's that.
Not only supporting him, but also like kind of maybe.
Yeah, any teammate that I have, I'm gonna lift them up. I'm gonna speak life into them, despite what anyone can say. You know what I'm saying? We all out here. We're doing this for the glory of God. We're doing this to glorify the Lord. We're not doing this for no man. We're not doing this for no woman. Like it's not for that. Like, as a team, like the Saints are offense, defense, special teams, and our fans. Like we are a team. Like our fans are a part of our team. Like we know, I've been on the opposite side and seeing how this place was rocking and how that affected, the other team. Like, but we all are one. So if you are part of the Saints, I'm gonna speak life into you. I'm gonna lift you up. Whether that's a specialist, it doesn't matter who it is. We are together, and we gotta stay together. We gotta stick together. We gotta dig down and just keep believing and have faith.
Because you know what it's like. It was surprising today to see all in the stands.
Yeah, it doesn't matter about them. I'm talking about us. I'm talking about who we are. We're the Saints. And since I've been a part of this organization, we have always found a way to overcome any type of adversity, and we always stuck together, right? Because that's what it is. That's that Southern love. That's that New Orleans love, right? That's that gumbo, a bunch of different mixtures, putting together in a pot, and you make something beautiful. And we still have opportunity to make something beautiful. We just got to have our fans support faith. As a team, we have to go out there and put on a show, do our job. I have to do my job better. Has accountability in this, and we're going to continue to increase and speak life and push forward.
How frustrating you have to be able to come get one more drive.
I think just the entire game, playing from behind as a team, we want to get on top. We want to start dominating our opponent from the rip, and for this upcoming week.
How about for you? This is kind of an interesting season for you. You now have 3 different games where you don't know at the beginning of the day if you're going to play or not. You want to put your best football out there, but it's been some urgent situations sometimes like that. How tough is that to play under that situation?
I'm grateful for every opportunity. I view it as a baseball perspective, as the closer coming in any given time, or a reliever coming in any given time. No matter if it's 9 runs, if you're down 9-0, no matter if you're up 10-0, like you coming in there to do a job, do your best, and try to just go, well, not try, but go out there and put on your best performance.
Yes, Alvin had a pretty historic day today. Just how important was he to the success that y'all were able to find on offense?
Well, everything that we do goes through him. Like, he's the best player on our team, and that's what he expects. That's what we expect out of him. I'm grateful to be his teammate, and I'm proud of him. I'm proud of how he comes to work every single day. When you are in a locker room with a Hall of Fame guy, they can just, do whatever they want to do, but he comes with an approach. He shows up on game day and puts on the show for all of us.
Can you talk about being able to come back and how you can handle that, maybe that fight as far as going through this final stretch of the season?
Well, I think it just starts with one play at a time. And when you're fighting from behind, you're desperate. You know what I'm saying? You want it. It's like you want out there and get beat. I think that just starts with the initial punch. Like, you got to be desperate. When you think about the most influential boxers, like, they going in there and every punch matters. Every time they take a punch, it matters. They're desperate for victory. They're desperate for a win. And I think that level of that level of hunger kind of propels you in those situations.
Do you expect that desperation will be present for this team for the remaining 5 games of the season?
I do.
From your vantage point, what will be the keys to string up some wins going down?
It starts one play at a time, doing our job to the best of our abilities, one play at a time.
Can I ask you a totally different topic? Your school being left out of the playoffs, what your reaction is to it?
My initial reaction, I was hurt, especially defensive performance that we put on. The amazing job by our head coach Mike Norvell for finding a way to will a championship, with his third string quarterback. I think that it's way bigger than what we can see from the naked eye. However, Florida State, you are continuing to have an incredible season, continue to persevere regardless of the naysayers or regardless who tries to limit you. They're not finished. We still got to go and finish strong. And I just commend, Mike Norvell and that team for rallying behind Jordan and playing great football, going into the swamp, playing against a tough team. Anytime you're in a rivalry game, it's going to be a tough game. You saw that with Alabama and Auburn. I think Alabama's a team that they put in front of us and finishing strong. Like, when you're a champion, that feels good. And I'm just proud of those guys. I'm proud of our head coach for bringing another championship to Florida State. All right, thanks.
Let's talk about him and bring in Pops Q. And what's really interesting about this whole thing is Dennis Allen's commentary about chopping wood. We're going to continue to chop wood. We're going to continue to chop wood. It's just unfathomable. The way how this team performs every week. It's sad. It's disgusting. And ultimately, it leads to the BS commentary about Dennis Allen. We don't trust you. We don't like you. You'd have given us nothing to cheer about. The reality is the team stinks under your guidance. You don't have a clue of what you're doing. Moves and changes that are very elementary, you don't make. You operate from a position of stubbornness, which is ignorant, is foolish, and you don't deserve the spot that you're in. There are other guys out there that deserve to be head coaches. Dennis Allen does not belong as anybody's head coach. Then on top of that, you got people like Loomis and the rest of them sitting up here making excuses for bad play for the team. The team, let me give you some real facts here, family. Let me give some real facts about the New Orleans Saints. And they can talk positivity all you want. You're supposed to operate in the field of balance, man. It's not supposed to be one more than other, because negativity is necessary, as they call it negative, because you don't like what they're saying, because they don't want to hear what you're saying. They want to keep doing what they're doing, which is not working. So when you say you need to self-correct, that's negative. Only ignorant people look at stuff like that. And Dennis Allen's one of the more ignorant people that we got under this team. Simple moves that should be made, like changing the play, the offensive level, disciplinary measures that's supposed to be implemented throughout the team. This type of stuff he simply doesn't do. He doesn't change anything. He keeps doing the same thing. Here's some stats for you. The New Orleans Saints are 5-7. The New Orleans Saints are on a 3-game losing streak. Minnesota, Atlanta, and now Detroit. We knew this. We said that they will ultimately lose the matchup against the Detroit Lions. They made it competitive. They actually had an opportunity to win the game. They didn't win the game. Now, the reality is, what happens next? Will they make changes to switch up things? Or are they going to try to run Derek Carr back out there? We know Derek Carr is not healthy. I keep saying the same thing. Carr is not healthy. He's not healed properly. That's why his ball sailed. He should be shut down for at least several games. Start another guy in there. Run Jameis in there. Give him a full week of preparation. Give him a full week of preparation. Do not run Carr back out there. But they so hell-bent on putting Carr out there because the money that they're paying him, that he's the answer to all the stuff. Now, granted, he did play better in the game, but he was involved another week of having a turnover that really hurt us. And I'm not talking about the interception he threw that went off the hands of Juwan Johnson. That was Juwan Johnson's fault. I'm talking about the play in which when he pulled the ball from up under the center, he did not secure the ball properly, which allowed Hurst to come in there and just poke the ball clean out of his hands, which is just totally ridiculous. And that happened at the start of the first quarter. That neutralized a lot of the energy, and it's similar to what was going on in the last game when the Saints were down in the red zone, having an opportunity to score and turn the game around. And for the second straight week, they turned the ball over, which that turnover that Carr had went for a touchdown, just like the interception did. So these are the statistics. And anytime when you start telling people, listen, this is the thing, that's negative. We can't pay attention to those guys outside of the building. Your ass don't matter. Hear me. You don't matter, meaning the supporters. I'm not talking to no fans. I'm talking supporters, because that's what we all are. We support the team. We ain't for nobody's fanatics. That's number one. We support the club. The supporters, they ask for you to support them, but they don't want to hear what you got to say. Just support us and what we doing, but keep your goddamn mouth shut. That's what they're saying. We don't pay attention. Nobody else outside this building matter but supporters. Please support us. Please, everybody who that nation, please support us. It's all about community. It's all about, the people support us. We don't need the negativity. We got to lift up each other. That's fine and dandy, but we talking schematics here. What are you doing wrong here that needs to be corrected? That's what needs to be focal pointed. That needs to be focal pointed. Enough of these fluffy words about this, that, and the third. That's not how businesses are ran. Business is not ran like that. You either be on code or not on code. If you don't participate, then you'll be kicked out of the matrix. We don't need all these fluffy words and all this nonsense to carry on to win a football game. You make your catches, you make your throws, you make your kicks, you make your blocks, everything will be fine. The problem is people get upset when you don't make your catches, when you don't make your kicks, when you turn the ball over and don't get turnovers, when you allow people to gas you for 140 yards to motivate and move games when you shouldn't have been down by 21 anyway. How do we get up 21? How do we end up chasing these people from 21 anyway? We don't supposed to let a team put 21 points of us in one quarter. Let them come on. In the end, it's about what the fans need to do. Just keep on supporting us. Are you kidding me, bro? We not going for that, man. We're not going for that. You don't ask for something you're not given. And this is corporate propaganda, man. I'm pinpointing it. It makes zero sense for the coach or the GM or any of these other people to get up on the podium and ask for you to give them more when they're not giving you nothing. That's what that's called? That's called a bad relationship. When you giving a person more than what they're giving you, that's a bad relationship. And I encourage you not to participate in bad relationships. It has to be a balance. If you want this good support, you give good on the other end. Don't ask me to support you if you out here stinking. You will not get anything. You will get what you give. If you give a negative BS on the field, you get negative BS around. You are the ones that's kicking out the negativity while they're throwing it on you. That's propaganda, man. They are producing negative stuff on the field, which then you're reacting to the BS that they're giving you. That's what's going on. But these people got the unmitigated gall to turn it around like you are being negative toward them. Are you crazy? It won't happen here. The great same thing, that might work on some other people somewhere, but that's not going to work here. That don't work with us. We don't participate in bad relationships when you giving everything you got and these people ain't giving you nothing. It don't work like that. So don't ask us for nothing. If you want something from us, get your ass out there and win. We giving you support. We paying you millions of dollars. We paying you millions of dollars to win games, to catch balls, to kick balls, to tackle correctly, to get turnovers, to get sacks. We paying millions of dollars. How dare you ask us for more than that when you're not willing to give us what we deserve on the other end? Miss me with all that nonsense and that corporate propaganda BS. It's not rocking with the coma, man. It's not happening here. So that, like I said, man, shout out to you guys. Appreciate you being here. OG, appreciate you. Rev, he says, Chief Crab Legs, Jameis, LOL. Thank you for that, bro. Appreciate that, man.
I wanna say thank you very much. Picking me up and bringing me back to this.
It don't work like that. We don't participate in. I encourage people out there. Period. Don't participate in a bad relationship where you putting 100% of yourself into a relationship, and whoever the person is, they're not giving you what you're giving them. I'm not telling you to leave, but I'm telling you that if not balanced, it's going to be a problem. And life is too short for things to be going through bad relationships in life. You get what I'm getting at? So we have power here. So this is an implementation of power right here, what I'm asking the Who Dat Nation to do. They're making it easy because these people are not giving us anything but BS. This is garbage and BS that we're seeing on the football field. You got a dumb coach who is way over his head, that's ignorant and stubborn, that refuses to make the correct changes. We got a general manager that sees money above your thought process about your opinion about the team, that whatever you say is negative unless it agrees with him. This is what these people are saying, that we don't pay attention to the noise outside, but hey, guess what? We need your support. Well, you got $100, $200, $300, $400 million of taxpayer money to fix the dome up, that people were in there yelling their heads off, and you still got another loss. You're now 3-game losing streak. You're 5-7. Atlanta won today. They're 6-6. And we think the Saints are actually going to do something when they're not fixing the problems. We shouldn't have been down by 21-0. So anyway, man, Brian, thank you, bro. Says, I say they lose against the Rams too. Thank you for the super chat, bro.
Far too kind.
We real over here, man. Don't ask us for nothing unless you're willing to represent us the correct way. This is not representing us the correct way. This is BS and garbage, man. This is trash, man. This is trash. It stinks. It's awful. It's garbage, and we're not going for it. You're not going to ask us to give you no more than what you've given us. We've given you millions of dollars. We've supported this team even when they embarrassed us. I had to put an Atlanta Falcon piece of gear on that said, I forgot what it says, rise up. And had to say rise up. I had to read a script for these damn people. You think they care about any of that? That I had to, me, a black and gold man, had to put on Atlanta Falcon shit because I betted on them to win the game against the Falcons. And they let me down then, and they let you down again today. And then they got the nerve to stand up there and ask you to support them after all the embarrassment that I went through and you're going through now. Get the hell out of here, man, with that. Get out of here. You won't receive nothing until you prove that you deserve it, that you earned it. You're not giving anything over here. You got to earn it, and you ain't earning shit. Don't ask me for nothing until you step up and show and represent the Who Dat Nation correctly. That's why I'm upset. I had to put on Falcon gear up in this piece last week and then embarrass myself because of the BS stuff that I seen from the Saints on the field. You want to talk about embarrassment? You want to talk about crap? Me, I made a bet on they sorry asses, and I had to pay up. You think they worried about it? The next press conference, Carr standing there smiling, talking about being positive. And then what does it do? It ends in another loss. So, I mean, in the end, you don't do enough to win because you keep shooting yourself in the foot because you can't stop turning the ball over. So, in the end, man, don't ask me for nothing, man. Pops, I'm going to bring my Pops in here, man, and bring him in. Pops, welcome into the show, man. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you, son. I can hear you. Well, just like I predicted, they would lose the game. Turnovers, undisciplined football. I mean, the first quarter was a joke. I mean, it was like they were playing like practice out there on the field for the first. They scored on their first 3 possessions, all touchdowns. Then they did. Nobody stopped this tight end, this unknown tight end, that guy is a rookie that Detroit played. And Carr is not. I mean, Carr, for heaven's sake, the quarterback that plays for Detroit, he's not a rookie. He's a good QB. They couldn't get any pressure. They got a couple of sacks, but it didn't have inopportune sacks. They couldn't put pressure on him. You know, we're in a bad shape. I saw one of the Brian also said that he'd say they're gonna lose against the Rams next week. I agree with that. They don't play good football. They don't play disciplined football. Turnovers, interceptions. You can't expect you'll get your wide receiver killed when you underthrow the football every opportunity. The little wide receiver had to wait for the ball to get to him, and then by that time he had the receiver beat. He had the cornerback beat, but he had to wait on the ball to come. Olabi, I think it was. He had to wait just like last week. Same thing. If you can't get anybody that can get the ball to these guys, we're gonna be in trouble. Like I say, I expect them to lose against the Rams. I don't know about the week after that, but I've never been a fan of Dennis Allen. So I hope that at the end of the season they just do what they need to do and get that man out of here and get a coach that knows how to coach this NFL team. Because he coaches like he's playing high school junior varsity football. Let him go, let him do this, let him do that. And you got to have some kind of offensive mindset. He never should have been the coach. Never should have been the Saints coach. But that's who Gail Benson picked, and so we have to deal with him. And then, like I said, once the fans stop going to the games, they go there, they pay big money to get in these games, and then they stank it up. You got to avoid the turnovers. You can't have interceptions. You can't have fumbles. You got to have. There'll be times when there's going to be fumbles, but you have to be able to be careful and protect that football. You can't just be running into a lot of guys and carrying the football like you're toting a loaf of bread. Because guess what? Somebody going to do just like they did last week, punch it out. To Taysom Hill, they punched the ball out and got the ball. And then they went back, scored a touchdown. Or throwing interceptions. Now, that's the best offensive line. That's the best offense I've seen them run for that brief period of time. Right after then going into the second half that I ever saw them play. They had good snap, crisp. He was moving the ball real good, making the right reads. Well, why he couldn't have been doing this all along? I have no idea, no answer for that. I don't understand that. But if they don't get, I really would like to see, and I'm just putting it out there. Pops Q wants to see a head coaching change at the end of the year, or offensive coordinator change at the end of the season. And they're not going nowhere. They're not going to the playoffs. You can forget that. Even if they won their last few straight, they ain't going nowhere. They're not going to be going anywhere. You can forget about it. It'll be another next year. Then they let Atlanta run down their throat. All the teams played against them and running down their throat. That's why the defense is not good. It played better today, but it's still not that good. Son, I just have no answer for what they did, what for this loss today. Anytime you fall behind by 21 points and Dennis Allen standing on our sideline looking like a snowman without a pipe and sticking out his mouth with his hat on, not saying nothing. I don't have no answer. I agree with you on that. He has no answer what to do with this NFL team.
Yeah, the next game they got is against the Carolina Panthers, but the Panthers right now involved. I think they're playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers right now. So right now that game's going on. It's Bucks up 7-3, and that's the same Buccaneers team that beat the Saints early in the year. So if the Buccaneers are able to beat the Panthers, the Saints will slide down to the third spot because the Buccaneers own the tiebreaker. So that's right. It is other teams winning. The Saints are losing. Their 3-game losing streak. They got Carolina next week. That's a team that is changed up some stuff, so we don't know how they're going to look. It's a total new system offensively that they're working with, so that won't be an easy out. But the big thing for the Saints is they can't stay out of their own way. That's the big things. Like if you can stay out of your own way and be disciplined, you win games. Like Eric McCoy today. Eric McCoy kept getting false starts. He was in that Cooper shuffling up in there. He was imploding. So, it was like the offensive line, we weren't able to run the ball as consistently as we want to run the football. It was just a lot of junk. Like the fact that they got down 21-0 early on and had to spend the rest of the game in chase mode, which means they had to be disciplined. They can't turn the football over. They can't turn the football over if they're chasing a team. You can't allow them to score touchdowns. You got to keep them out of that. And that's what hurt the Saints. I said for the rest of the game, Saints can't allow them to score a touchdown. So what did they do? They allowed a touchdown. They off of a turnover by Derek Carr. The ball hit the ground when him and Hurst got into it. So, I mean, it's just comedy error after comedy error after comedy error after comedy error. And Dennis Allen gets up there and talks about chopping wood. We just got to keep chopping wood. You got to keep on chopping wood. But never mind all of these fantastic practices they had. I thought you had, well, he had a great day of practice and a great practice and a great practice and a great practice. And then they go out there and they turn the ball over. They go out there and they disjointed. They go out there and they just can't execute a full 60 minutes worth of football. They can't do it. They can't do it consistently enough. And now we starting to see something. So 5 games remaining in the season. It's 5 games remaining. Let me put this up and get this ugly son of a bitch off here. But the reality is you have 5 games left to go in the season. You got Atlanta Falcons at 6-6, the Saints at 5-7, 3-game losing streak. You got Tampa Bay currently leading the Tampa Bay the Tampa Bay Buccaneers leading Carolina 7-3 right now. And of course, Atlanta beat the Jets earlier today. They beat them 13-8, so they're now 6-6 as they kind of get a little separation going on. So with that being said, in the division, you can see the Saints are second. Tampa wins today, and they very well can beat Carolina. They will slide the Saints down to 3rd position in the NFC South. The Saints have a matchup against the Carolina Panthers the following week, but it's 2 games out of the 5 games remaining. I said that he might win. They might get a victory against Carolina. That's probably the easier one to pick. And then you pick, decide on which the other 4 games are going to be. I mean, they got the Rams who later on in the year, which the Rams, I don't think they'll beat the Rams. I don't think they beat Tampa Bay. I don't think they beat Atlanta in the rematch. And then they got, it's another team that I'm missing. But in the end, I just don't see the Saints. And I'm not being negative. I'm saying I know this team can't stay out of their own way. That's the problem. They can't stay out of their own way. So let me put their schedule up right here, because this is the sad sack stuff that we're dealing here. Is that you see Carolina is who we got next Sunday, then December the 17th, the Giants. So you got 2 more home games, 3 stand, Carolina, then the Giants. We got to see what happens with the Giants game. The Giants don't play that really well. So maybe the Saints can get a win against Carolina and the Giants. The Rams is going to be difficult. Tampa Bay is going to be difficult because they hopefully I don't even give them that in Atlanta. I don't, because they can't stay out of their own way to win in these games. But not to jump ahead, Carolina is the next game, and right now this is where we are. That is the statistics. That is the sticks. Saints are not eliminated from the playoff window right now, but the reality is I'm looking at it like, you got 5 games remaining in the NFL season. It's 5 games remaining. 5 games remaining. It's 5 games. This is the playoff. This is what we're looking at right here. The playoff picture right here as it stands. You see Philly right now playing the 49ers right now. That's going on. I'm watching that right now. And then you go down, you see Eagles, the Lions with a win. They climbed to 9-3. They second in the playoff rankings. You see the Niners there. Atlanta's in the spot where the Saints supposed to be. They're 6-6 in the South, gaining separation. The Cowboys are 9-3. Vikings are 6-6. Seahawks are there with the final spot at 6-6. And then on the bubble, you see the Packers, who beat the Saints early in the year, so they got your tiebreaker. You got a Rams team that you got to meet in several weeks, and then there's the Saints right there. So if the Buccaneers win today, they leapfrog the Saints and push them down to the 11th seed. So all this being said puts the Saints in a very difficult situation because they don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they need to fix. Dennis Allen is not the right guy. They keep making these excuses. And like I said, they keep on running. Keep running, scared rabbits. Sooner or later, you're going to run out of time. Keep running, keep losing. Time is a 5-7, 3-game slide. They got Carolina next, and they have no answers. Now, in this matchup, desperation kicked in. They looked a lot better. Desperation kicked in because they were down 21 points. They had to play. They were playing desperate. So a lot of the things that they be nervous about or conservative about, they had to throw it out. So they don't need to be conservative if you're trailing by 21. So they threw all that stuff out and they started operating by desperation. See, they can't have that mentality without being just totally plastered 21-0 in the first half. The coordinator super conservative and scary. All that had to go out the window when they were trailing that far, so they opened up the book and started doing some stuff. And they stayed competitive. The thing that hurt the team, like it always hurt the team, is the non-disciplined play and the turnovers. That both turnovers the Saints had were converted to touchdowns. That hurt us. Rich says, Q, why are we surprised? We all know DA's record. He is who he is a loser. His history speaks for itself. He is a loser. He is a loser. And Mickey Loomis sit up here making excuses saying they got the best guys, they got the right guys in the building. He said that. He literally said that. He said that. The team falling through the flow and they got the right guys in the building. Hey, newsflash, Loomis, if they had the right people in the building, the team wouldn't be on a 3-game losing streak. It wouldn't if you had the right guys in the building. This guy has no answers. His quarterback is so we'll see how it all looks going into the week. I don't think Derek Carr plays, but then again, this guy would do anything. He'll give him the super shot, the painkiller, just to get him in and roll him out there in a wheelchair if he want him to play. This guy wants him to do that. So in the end, it's just what it is, man. Pops, I'm gonna give you the floor the last time, man, and we get ready to get on up out of here, man. It's a terrible situation. But Rich, thank you for the super chat.
I wanna say thank you very much. Picking me up and bringing me back to this world.
Yeah, son, all I could say, I'd love to see them win. I don't have any problem with that. I love, if they can get out of their own way, stop turning the ball over, and get into disciplinary type of football, get into discipline mode football, I think they have a shot to win and move up to win some of these games that they're losing. But they do a couple of good plays and then they come back and they make a bonehead mistake or turn the ball over. That fumble that Carr does probably hundreds of times a year. He didn't get the football properly. He didn't secure the football from the center. It was like he was trying to step back when he was trying to get the ball, and the ball just hit his hand and hit the ground. He was too slow to react to get down on it. His quarterbacks would have noted that immediately when they dropped it and tried to get to it. He was standing up there like an Indian totem pole or something. And then, of course, Detroit jumped right on it. Then it was all the way back in Saints territory. So that was an easy touchdown right there. Mistakes will kill your team. Mistakes the quarterback or any of them make will kill you. But the quarterback has a bigger influence over the turnovers than any other player on the team. Sure, a wide receiver could fumble a ball or a running back get the ball and get it knocked out. But when you're taking the ball from under the center, you have to make sure that ball is secure. And he had time to do that because Detroit really got to him only after he held the ball longer than he should. So he gets a sack that sets him way back, puts him in a negative situation. And then they can't convert. When you get 3rd and 13, 3rd and 15s like that, you will not. Most of the time, you're not going to convert those unless you got a disciplined football team, wide receiver that could get spots, that could make the spots. And I think the wide receivers and offensive players, some of them did get to the right spot, but Derek just couldn't get them the ball. Jameis came in there with 2 easy throws and missed both of them. We had a shot if we could have converted one of those. And it was right. It was in the first down was made. All the ball had to be was thrown was right there. Put to them, get where they can make a catch and make a play on the ball, and they would have got the first down. Could have kept the drive going. Like I said, I don't know. There's a chance they might beat Carolina, but I know Carolina has done improved since the last time they met them. And if they turn over and give that ball to Carolina like they did to anybody else, Carolina will score on them. So only thing I'm saying is I hope they win, but I don't see it. I mean, I'm thinking if they play the way they played today, they're gonna lose that game with Carolina, and then they've been lost further and fell further down in the division. I just don't. They caught fire today. They might be able to bring that offensive game to the Carolina game, but they got to make the plays. They got to make the throws. This guy got to make sure the runs have to be made. The offensive line has to block. They have to not hold. You know, because your guys getting called for hold all the time, called for holding somebody all the time. They get called for it. So it's just an undisciplined team right now. And I don't think Dennis Allen had the capacity to get them disciplined. He's just out there telling them what plays to run, or telling Carmichael what plays he won't run. I don't, it's just, to me, it seems like it's a hopeless cause, son. I just don't see it. I really don't. They may win one or two more, but they're not going anywhere postseason.
All right. Yeah, it's a whole problem here, man. Think about what this is, man, because the Saints go down 33-28 to the Lions. The Lions improved to 9-3. The Saints 5-7, 2-3 at home. They're currently on a 3-game slide. Carolina is the next up and coming team, but like I said, it's a team that offensively performed. They were able to do some stuff because they had, it was a sense of urgency and desperation that came over the offense, where they threw out a lot of the stuff that was conservative, and they just went for it. And fortunately, it showed a lot of promise. But I don't have a lot of faith in the Saints to be able to replicate some of this stuff to the next game. They've shown during the season that, they've shown during the season that they have not had the ability to take stuff that worked from a prior game and use it consistently in games after that to have success, especially offensively speaking. They don't do it. They don't do it well, which speaks to, a lot of different things. But the biggest encumbrance to the Saints' success are the Saints. There's too many off-code behaviors from the team, especially offensively speaking. The offensive line is just so up and down. We can't consistently run the ball. Many other things, so many different things. The quarterback is up and down. He come in here and he made several good plays in this game. They turned the ball over in opportune times. If you remove the turnovers the Saints had today, the Saints win the game. So that's the thing that really kind of kills, a lot of the people's understanding of what's going on with the success of the team, is that they can't get out of their own ways game after game after game, and it's a problem. And now the pressure's really on. 5 games remaining. You got Carolina. You should be able to beat a Carolina team. But then again, we are the New Orleans Saints. We tend to have problems. Sometimes we play down to our adversaries, and it is what it is. So it is what it is. But anyway, fam, 33-28, the Saints go down. Can't get the success today. It's all good. 3 straight losses. The team's under 5-7. Atlanta won today. They're 6-6. They're creating some separation there. And the Saints fall further back, and things as things mount up now, the negative noise, as Mickey Loomis likes to call it, is about to amplify. It's about to go even louder as the season gets later on and your team continues to fall apart and not execute properly. Negative noise, what you call negative noise, is the truth from the Who Dat Nation telling you that changes need to be made, and they don't want to hear what you got to say. They just want you to give them the money and shut your mouth. Give us the money and shut up. That's how they treat it. We don't want to hear what you say unless it agrees with me. I don't want to hear it. Just give us your support. That's all. And then Jameis sits up there and says all the opinions in the same spiel, and they all say the same thing. It don't matter what's being said outside of the building. We only care about what's in the building, but support us. How could you even fit that in the same several paragraphs? How could you do it? It don't mean nothing. Whatever words don't mean nothing outside the building except for us. But we need your support. What kind of crazy?
Give us your support.
Crazy, all foolishness that you're speaking on here, man. You're not gonna get since you give us the support and the money and shut. Support means money, by the way. You can't put 1 and 2 together. He's like, well, support all that. That's support. No, Q. They talking money. They talking financial support. They take a lot of money to run a football team. They paying contracts. They got stuff that they doing. But we giving them free rent and to sit. That's right, free rent in the Superdome, free rent in the arena, all of the concessions, all of the parking revenue, all of the merchandising revenue, all of the suite revenue, all of that, and then several dozen tax breaks is not enough to support. You want more support? Well, yeah, we want all the support. Just give us all your support that you can give, and look, keep your opinion to yourself, okay, guy? All right, thank you. That's how it is. That's how. No, it don't work like that, bro. It might have worked like that several years ago. Don't work like that no more, man. You're not going to ask for support and not take just the financial support and what it was going on. You're going to take everything that comes with it. And so you can call it negative noise all you want because people telling you the team stinks because you got the wrong guy on top of the team. You don't want to hear that. And I don't want to hear that, which means you're supposed to be always in a constant state of revaluation. You're always supposed to be evaluating stuff. Every game is a constant evaluation game. That's how they're supposed to think. If you're a real general manager, you would know that. Not just somebody that sit up there and did. See, that's the thing. We watching a guy like Howie Roseman fleece Mickey Loomis out of draft picks because Mickey Loomis been living off that rep with Sean Payton. Sean Payton made a lot of these people look better than what they were. He really did. He made a lot of these people look like way better than they actually are at their jobs. Seriously. I'm dead set. You can see it with Sean Payton turning it up for Denver. He won 4 or 5 games in a row, and the Saints falling through the floor at 5-7, 3-game slide. I'm telling you, Sean Payton made a lot of these people look a lot better than what they actually was. Because if Mickey Loomis was worth his salt as a general manager, there's no way that he could sit there and say what he's saying about Dennis Allen when you're supposed to be in a constant state of evaluation. Every game he's supposed to be evaluating and checking. And when you see the team sliding in the 3-game sliding streak right now, and you got 5 games to go, you ain't going to go in there and tell them to change some stuff? You ain't going to go in there and change? You're going to tell me that it's negative noise what we saying or what the who that's are saying? You're not going to go in there and tell that man to change some stuff? You got to go there. You got to go too. You going too. So when it all go down, we're going to hold your feet to the fire too, since you want to protect this guy. And he ain't nothing to protect. This is a mistake. We trying to salvage the season. We trying to salvage the season, man. We trying to promote you to salvage the season, but that's negative noise. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to. I made the call, and I made a good call. No, you did not make a good call. This is a bad call. Look at your team, bro. Blind. That's why you got to go the game and passed you by. Like I said, a lot of these guys, Sean Payton made a lot better than what they actually are. I'm just being honest with you. Oh, no, I'm good. Oh, let me tell you something. Hold on now. Hold on. Oh, that's bullshit. I have no fiddly sticks. Let me tell you, I'm good. I'm good. No, you're not, Mickey. You're not good, bro. You're not good. You sit up here telling me it's negative noise, and we tell you that Dennis Allen ain't no head coach. You got to go too. You got to go. You go with him. All right, listen, man. That's enough. I'm about to get out of here, man. Listen, I appreciate you guys for being in the stream, man, for another one. 3 straight losses by the Saints in the matchup, man. It's unfortunately, we kind of knew it was going to happen. We kind of figured that they would have a difficult time defeating the Detroit Lions. They made it entertaining, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. The Saints go down with another loss, and they'll have, I ain't going to even say easier matchup next week. I'm not going to even say that, fam. I'm not going to even say that they'll have an easier matchup next week against the Carolina Panthers. I won't dare say that because you never know what Saint team is going to come to play. You really don't know. You really don't know. So anyway, with that being said, we're going to get out of here. Shout out to you guys. Appreciate you for joining me and Pops Q and the entire broadcast day. And listen, we'll pop up here on Monday. We'll react to the interviews for Monday. We'll cover some more news and notes on the Saints on Monday. All right. So with that being said, I'm gonna get out on that. Appreciate the support, fam. Shout out to all the family members with the super chats and the cash apps today. Man, decompress, man. We're gonna look at it again tomorrow. What a terrible team we have here. Much love to the Who-Dats. Peace.
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a Who-Dat. I'm a Who-Dat. Long as I'm living, I'm a Who-Dat. Lose or winning, I'm a Who-Dat. Sports coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, 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 Boogie like Benson, I'm a Who-Dat. I'm a Who-Dat. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees are Roger Goodell. Yeah, Boogie like this and I'm a Who-Dat. Every day I'm living, I'm a Who-Dat. Lose or winning, I'm a Who-Dat. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that,
for making Saint Central your black and gold home for the New Orleans Saints.
TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That, you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. TheWhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform